really, I mean, After Effects is quite a complicated program, so you could really go on forever on this. But so we talked, we had that initial composition, which was the basics of After Effects, and we talked a little bit about text, which is what we're doing here, which is this basic text animation here. And then I'll talk a little bit about green screen and then exporting your video. And then again, please, there's tons of tutorials online. You can learn a lot of things about After Effects. It really is, an amazingly powerful program, and you can do a lot of cool things on it. So anyway, I'm going to open up a new composition now. So I'm going to say new composition. I'm going to keep those same settings. So now I have composition 3 here. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually import another video here. And I believe I have it on my computer, and it's a green screen. You can just go to YouTube and download green screen stuff. Or you can actually shoot it yourself. We have a green screen in the library at school, so you can do that as well. But in my case, I just downloaded something. I'm trying to remember where it is now. Digital design, and I believe it might be a music video maybe. Where is it in? Let's just see. Sorry about that. Animation. We'll find it somewhere here. I think it was here, filmmaking, evolution, flash. Okay, here we have a lion, for example. Actually, let me bring a couple of these things in. Why not? Yeah, we'll bring there's a lion and a Kenya flag here. Both of them downloaded from YouTube. I'm going to bring both of those in. So I'm going to first bring the line in the foreground. I'm going to just drag that animation here. I can see that it's not that big, but so I'm going to just make it a bit bigger. So again, I'm going to open it up, go to transform, scale this line so it sort of fills up the whole screen. And then the beauty of the green screen is that I can get rid of the green screen and put whatever I want behind it. It's kind of like Photoshop when you can just like select the color and just delete it all. So what I'm going to do is in this case, I'm going to get the Kenya flag animation. I'm going to put that on top. I can see that that's pretty small too. So I'm going to make that bigger as well. So scale it up a bit. And here I have the Kenya flag and the line underneath it. I'm actually going to flip those around. So I'm going to take the Kenya flag and drag it underneath the lion so that that's there. And then what I'm going to do is get rid of the green background so we see the Kenya flag behind the lions. Hopefully that'll work. So what I want to do is click on the lion layer because that's the one I want to select. I can then go to effects, and keying is the one I'm looking for. There's a whole different bunch of keying sort of effects you can put on. They all do different things. I'm trying to remember which one is the best one. I'm just going to start with color range for now. And then here I can select, I can't remember, I think one might be, you could try it, but I'll just go for the basic one, click on this, and that worked pretty well actually. So you can see what happens. It got rid of the green background, and you have the Kenya flag here. So if I now play this animation, I have this lion roaring with the Kenyan flag behind it. So that's kind of cool. You can see there's a bit of a fuzziness around the lion here. So if I want to get rid of that, if I go under effects, this is the filter I've just put on the key, so I can actually go into color range. And I believe if I play around with these things, let me just see what that does. Yeah, you can see it actually. I believe that's sort of reducing the edges there a little. I'm going to reduce that a little bit. What I can actually do is to get rid of everything, I can zoom into that lion a bit and over here, and what I can do is just click on that layer again, just do exactly the same thing, go back to effects, keying, color range again, and literally create a new keyframe, and now just pick up that green, and you can see, and I could do the same so now there's like 2 color ranges. I can do it one more time and pick out this. Let me just do that since I've started that, keying and color range, and I'm now going to pick out, sorry, I'm going to go back to this and pick out this color range, and I can see I can slowly, so now if I zoom back out in my lion, I can see that it's starting to look pretty good. And again, I can play around with the fuzziness, and actually I believe these are like the lights and the darks. So I think if I actually were to click, let me just see what happens out of curiosity. If I were to click on this, I don't see much difference, but anyway. But again, I did a pretty good job, and again, you can play around with those settings. But here I have a green screen and the keying, so that was kind of what I wanted to go over here. And then lastly, we talked about it before, but if I go back to my project at the top here, I'm going to close this for now. Remember, I have different things here. I have composition 1, which was this funny thing. Let me just, for the sake of just showing you how this works, I can drag composition 1 on top here. I have that funny thing I created before with this fish and stuff. That was the first tutorial I went over. And then I have composition 2, which is that text stuff I did. So I'm going to create that on top here. And so now you see what's happening. Suddenly I got 3 videos happening. I got the Simba Wakati text sort of on the top layer. Then I got that funny thing that I created with the elephant and stuff. I'm actually going to have it end at this point, so I could just literally just drag that layer so it ends at this point, and then I have the lion appearing down here. And all these compositions, if I open them up, have their own settings underneath them where I can change. Let's just say I wanted, I don't know, the text to start to slowly disappear at this stage. I could just go to opacity, go here, and then reduce the opacity down to 0. And now what I have, as you can see, is this animation happening, and the text slowly starts to disappear, and then it appears. So again, if I wanted to see it in real time, it's going to be a pretty bad animation, but anyway, just so you get the idea, I'm going to drag this to the part that I want to render, the part that I actually want to look, and it's just this part that I'm interested in. Let's just say till here, hit the space bar, and it should start rendering. You can kind of see the green line over here is slowly going, so it's not playing in real time now. I gotta wait to see where the green time reaches to, and that's going to let me and that's going to show me how much of it is rendered. Depending on the size of your computer, you can render more and faster. So I think this is probably going to render everything. So now, once it does this, now it's the real time. So you can see it's happening, got the text happening, and then it zooms out. So totally weird animation, but you can see that you can do a lot of funky stuff here. Okay, and then the final thing, let's just say I really like what I've just created. I want to export it. What you would do is you'd go to composition, and then you'd go to add to render queue. That's over here, add to render queue. And this is now your exporting. So then you have a couple things you can play around with. If you go on best settings, I don't think I'd change anything over here. I'm trying to remember. No, I think that's fine. That's okay. But then under output over here, what you want to do is the default animation is you can do that, but it's a huge file. It's going to be a bunch of gigabytes. So what I would do is click on format options and change it from animation to H.264. I don't see it here, but this is going to be a small one too, I think. Let's see, yeah. So there's Apple ProRes. I think this is going to be a compressed version, so just stick to an Apple. I think this might be the same H.264. I was looking for, so click on that. And hopefully it won't be too big a file. And then say OK. And then at the bottom here, in this case, audio output is there. Fine, that should be fine. Say OK. And then save where you want to save it. I'm going to just call it delete because I don't want to keep it, or just call it test for now. It's going to be on my desktop. QuickTime format is fine, and then hit save, and then you hit render, and you'll see what happens at this blue line over here is rendering my video. So we might as well wait till it renders just to show you the final outcome. But that is basics of After Effects. Well, I don't need to show you that. Anyway, it's going to save on the desktop as a .mov file, and then you can watch that then and put it on your Google Sites or whatever you need to.